Scanning for audio.
Hello, and welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. I'm not sure when this is going to be able to, be uploaded and enter your wonderful MP3 players, because I don't have broadband at the minute, which is why the review of this story didn't come out last Thursday at the very moment that it was broadcast, because today I'm reviewing episode 4 of Torchwood Miracle Day. Yes, I know the last few episodes of the Tin Dog podcast have all been Torchwood, and yes, it's going to be a bit annoying for some people who like Doctor Who and don't like Torchwood, and that's fine. What I am saying is, I'll start reviewing Doctor Who quite soon. I've got Robophobia lined up, I've got the Sunmakers, I've got Day of the Daleks, they're all in the wings, that's fine. So, because I'm all backed up in a podcasting kind of a way, if suddenly you see extra shows appearing on the feed, that's fine. I am aiming to have show 200 be my review of the Hooverville convention, and that's really what I've got in plan, because that is coming very, very soon. I'll line up a proper advert, but I think most podcasters are advertising that because, it's soon. It's going to be brilliant, and it's going to be held in Derby, but it's not going to be held in the train sheds, and that's a bit sad. Anyway, the important thing is, this particular podcast, God knows when you'll get to hear it, is me rambling, no surprise there then, about episode 4 of Torchwood Miracle Day. Dead is dead. Yeah. Degrees of Living, or whatever this episode's actually called. The passage to the afterlife is lost, or some other really exciting things. I'd like to say that this episode for me is yet another piece of filler. You've got one story which could be dealt with in 1 week on BBC One at 9 o'clock in 5 episodes, and then it would be done just like Children of Earth. Admittedly, it would be grim, just like Children of Earth, so if you let the grimness go and you embrace the quirkiness of Series 2 or the downright ludicrousness of Series 1 of Torchwood, and the padding of Series 1 and 2, then you get this. 10 weeks of plot upon plot, all hinting and going, ooh, major storyline, here's a hint, here's a triangle, here's something coming your way, and as the audience you're sitting there going, and moving on. And a bit of plot now. Now, I know, being a Doctor Who fan has a certain downside when it comes to Torchwood, especially Children of Earth. You were sat there watching Children of Earth going, yeah, but the Doctor could sort this out 20 minutes into episode 1. He could just turn up and say, get off my planet, and that would be a perfectly acceptable thing for the Doctor to say. But no, and the same goes for this. The Doctor would turn up and solve it by the end of episode 2 before the aeroplane had even touched down. How much padding does this series seem to be? I mean, let's look at it. Episode 1, the setup. Episode 2, informed that it's a setup, but actually it's an aeroplane journey. Episode 3, some chatting and people panicking about society. Ooh. Episode 4, trying to find out some more society crumbling. Really not impressed. I don't know. I've got some proper notes rather than just rambling. Let's go through them. The behaviour of PhiCorp's owners, and I'm believing more and more that they're human, it's just dull. They're hedging their bets by investing in Oswald and the evangelist woman whose name temporarily escapes me because I don't care. Yes, we've got some hints about who it is. It was something Jack told them or gave them a long, long time ago. So the chances are they're probably alien. Now, they're dealing with geography, which means they've probably bought out these camps in specific geographical locations. Is that or is that not just a little bit similar to the Quatermass Final Solution thing where all of the people go to one place and then get taken up by aliens, which again was taken up in the 456. So is it the 456 again? No, because it has to be, if it is aliens, a brand new alien threat, because this is Torchwood being sold as a new product. If it's Torchwood referring back to an old product, i.e. a large demon from Series 1 or some creatures from a Doctor Who mythos like the Daleks or someone like that, or you know what I mean, then that's not going to work selling it as a new product. So it has to be a new set of characters, a new set of creatures. That's if it is creatures. You see, I'm getting a distinct feeling like when you watch one of the old historical Doctor Who's and you don't know that it's a historical Doctor Who, that you're waiting for the aliens to turn up. It would be like watching Highlanders and then, well, kind of getting to the end and going, oh, so there wasn't some great alien invasion going on. Perhaps that's what this is with Torchwood. There is no alien invasion. It's just some companies. Some very old companies. And then you've got mentions of a family. Well, that's leaning more towards the vampire end of things. Because, of course, they would like everyone on tap and in camps so that you could drain them. But vampires? Really? Torchwood? Try harder. Being shot in the throat. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a rant coming on. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. The guy can't die, so he gets shot in the throat. Can he still use a pen? Interrogation would take longer, but he could still write things down. And of course, torture is a whole new ballgame, because you're not going to ever lose the person. Of course, there is that cut-off point with torture, where you torture someone so much they'll admit to anything at all, and you reach the point beyond truth, where everyone just agrees to things, and we don't need that. No, I've got too far ahead in the plot. That doesn't really matter. The plot itself is fairly flimsy. Woman calls for people to be put into camps, or old people's homes, whichever you want to think of them as. Yes, society doesn't like looking at its old people, but as the whole of society is going to end up being these old people, let's get over it and get on with it. Can I just say one thing? There are two particularly gross moments in this. The first being where the assassin takes the biometrics designer and then mutilates him, which you don't see. You've got images in your own head. Version 2, you've got Evangelist Woman who gets squashed in her car. And as the camera pulled in, I just said to myself, oh, they're not going to show you a single moving eye, because obviously eyes are made of solid steel and don't go pop when you squash them in a car. But no, one unblinking eye inside the mechanism is what we get. That was practically comical. Now the other guy survived. This other woman obviously didn't. Well, she did in a sense. But that was more comical and didn't really mess with your head half as much as not seeing the guy get his eye gouged out and his hand cut off, which you half expected to see there. And also, if you give them back to him, would they reattach? The healing process has just never been really gone into. Well, not in this anyway. There was another couple of moments which just felt like clumsy rewrites. The George Eliot scratches on a piece of metal thing. If that whole scene was transplanted to Doctor Who, then the Doctor would be showing off about how he knew George Eliot, or whatever her name really was. Jack could have done the same, but didn't. Now I know, of course, he couldn't really have done that, because statistically speaking, although he's old enough, he was encased in concrete in a park in Cardiff at the time. But the guy's a time traveller, he could have said something along those lines. Also, when they were trying to silence that woman, why bother to reveal your plans? I know that's a classic thing, but Russell should be trying to be clever. It just didn't work. You could have given the woman a stroke, poisoned her so that she could never recover. That's the sort of thing that you would do as a punishment in this world. You turn someone into a vegetable. You physically can't kill them, but you can remove all of their motor functions or the neural processes. That is the death sentence in this new world. Yes, we've got the whole things that I've talked about already. The assassin with a pen who can now write things down. Oh, our first mention of Rapture, the Dead Rising. Yeah, fantastic, Russell. Let's use some more Christian mythology in order to make a point. By the way, Russell, what is your point? I seem to have missed it. Another thing that annoyed me? Oh, yes, there's so many things annoying me here. The reinvention of Katzenberger. Episode 1 and 2 and 3, you're presented with someone who's basically in the shadows, who is Mr. Morden, who is evil. That's the point of them. But Russell, what he's done, and I can't see what it's actually getting at here. Perhaps it's something that I'm just too thick to see, and let's face it, that has happened more than one occasion. She's just in PR. She's just shallow, pointless, and money-hungry. She doesn't know what the big plans are. It's as if she's being set up to be turned around as a character and eventually be the person who kills him. It still feels like his entire story has nothing to do with it other than padding. If you remove him from the storyline, you just get a faster-paced story. Something better. Perhaps she'll be the same. But it did feel like they just went, let's make her more human. Why? Let's make her more accessible. Why? If you don't do that, then you still think as an audience that she's more evil. Don't show us that she's having doubts or hating other people. No, let's just keep her the same awful person. Perhaps that's just me. Tell you what, let's refer back to these notes. Oh, yes. Oh, how annoying was this episode. Everyone's going around saying, don't use your mobile phone, you'll get caught. Don't use your mobile phone. Oh, we've bounced it off a satellite. Yep. This company has changed the nature of the entire world. They really can keep track of people's mobile phone signals, especially text messages. Come on, the American government have managed to kill world leaders using missiles launched after they rang someone on their mobile phone and pinpointed where they are. And that's fact, that's not sci-fi. This is Torchwood. Of course those things could happen. Oh, I've got a question for anyone listening. Because I don't have an iPhone and therefore, or an iPad or any of the Apple very shiny but very expensive and quite heavy things. So what's happening in the webisodes? I don't have them. I haven't seen them. I saw the first one that was free, but I just kind of don't have them, and I can't see them or watch them or play the games or learn anything that's going on. I feel left out. Perhaps that's what Apple want you to feel. They want you to feel alienated because you don't have their app. Well, I don't have your app, Apple. Your Apple app. Yeah. Grr. Etc. So I still don't actually know what's happening. Another theory as to why they're all being gathered together, and I'm sorry that this is all over the place, is that the creatures could be... Are any of you Big Finish fans? Of course you are. You know that thing about Patient Zero and the germs? If everyone's infected by everything, you've got perfect biological weapons that aliens could gather at the little camps and drop off, in other words. But that doesn't make sense either, because Earth-based germs and alien germs, they're not going to be compatible, and people might be... I'm sorry, that made no sense. Again, a small technical issue that I've got with the episode, and I will stop talking about Torchwood so that I can talk about something else very soon. Too much motion blur. It's there. I can see it. I've tried watching Torchwood on at least 3 different TVs, and I can see it. It's just there. On the screen. Something moves and looks like a bad duplicate. There is a difference in quality between series 1, 2, 3 and this one. And perhaps I'm the only person who can see it. It may be the Emperor's New Clothes, I just don't know. Right, I'm going to go away. And I'm going to sit down. I'm going to hope that one day I get broadband back and that I can hear other people's opinions and actually get to see some episodes and visit some forums and actually upload some podcasts. Until then, be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.